Hello everyone, and welcome back to Endzone, A World Apart. The game has now officially released and I'm really excited to be playing for the first time since its official launch. Happily, we can continue our progress from early access and all we have to do is decide whether or not to enable raiders, the newest addition to the game. Of course we'll enable them. If lack of resources, disease or extreme drought weren't enough, have some bullies with guns.
The catastrophe showed where we made our mistakes. Progress is a path that leads astray. My visions have shown me a different place. Let's join forces and heal. It's the only path there is. Will you support us, or will you oppose us?
Basically, raiders demand tribute from time to time, and if you don't cough up, they come to your settlement and, funnily enough, they'll raid it. You can defend against them, but as we don't have the setup for that yet, we're going to have to pay up.
I may be blind, but my people say that what you're giving is a lot. I hope for your sake that you'll soon follow us.
Kicking things off, we need to boost our production limits as a few of our resources are starting to hit the top end of their production. A smarter person might cancel production temporarily, but I'm not that guy. Today, what we're going to do is plan moving our industry to another nearby area and start laying out our settlement in a better way. Just going to see that northern area looks pretty good, but I think, if I remember rightly, yeah, this western area looks a lot better. So that'll be our new build area. To do that, we're going to start clearing out scrap and wood from the target area, ready to put foundations in for this mass expansion. For now though, our foresters lodge and scrappers are just ticking away, so we'll let them do that for the time being. What we also need to do is expand our population. So the first real order of business today is going to be to build a few more cabins. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 down, I think. And that should just ease our way into a little bit of growth and get some more settlers assigned to jobs. We do have to be aware that there's a drought coming up and we've got some building repairs to make. And then we need to stockpile a few basic resources, so it might be a wise idea once we've finished building these to do some gathering tasks. I'm just going to fill in a bit of road here just to tidy it all up. Probably that one, yep, great. And then we can build our big dirt road out to the west. Just going to check on that thing. Yeah, that building needs repaired. So we'll also get a gather wood task like I said I was going to do, and the gather scrap task down maybe to the south here, maybe just to the west of that lake. There. That'll do. Next, build our big road. Right the way along. And then we can start putting some buildings down at a later date just to get that nice and planned out, and we'll just not build them. But it'll give us a nice idea of the infrastructure that we want to aim for. So the pub, we'll get that producing stuff again, because I do think at some point when the raiders do, oh look at those pretty lanterns. And now we've got a task. Looks like a general, yeah, get loads of resources, and I think we've had this one before. I think that's to do with the decontamination post. Let's find out. So those houses are coming along nicely, and that should give us a nice little boost to our population. Right, what do we get? Gather a bit of everything, and yeah, decontamination kits produced. That should be an easy one. Great, so that'll be nice to do. The next thing I want to do, actually, I want to get those tier 2 resources stockpiled, so we're going to build some more recyclers. Probably another 3 just at the back of the ones that we already have. Oh, what have I done here? Ah, okay, right. Just missed a step. Just cancel that build and then put them in a little bit closer. There we go, and there we go, nice. So yeah, we've got a lot of ground radiation around at the moment, and we need to be better at... It might be worth actually just expanding our decontamination posts and having a couple dotted around each area, so when we expand over here, we can put a decontamination post right in the middle, and that should keep that area nice and free of radiation. So, can I just fit a cabin here? Yeah, perfect, nice and easy. So what I'd like to do moving forward is we'll put a little fishing hut there and another jetty, and then line this road here with houses on either side, And that means that the civilians that live in those houses will most likely work in the industry, and they'll be close to their workplace. Right, let's get back to the main settlement. What I want to do here is build a market, I think. Yes, this is the one. Because what I would like to do is start pooling all of our resources in one centralized location that is close to the settlers. And then we then get logisticians, and what they do. Oh, look at that, I can fit a cabin in. Fantastic. It's almost as if I planned it. Back to my previous train of thought. The logisticians will gather resources from everywhere else and pool them into one centralized location, which is fantastic. It's going to mean that my resources are less spread out and things are just a little bit more logistically sound. Over in our research tree, we have generated a research point, but I'm not going to get the hemp weaving mill, and I'm just going to focus on getting enough research points to unlock that refinery. We don't have hemp seeds, so there's not really any point getting into the hemp weaving mill side of things. We can just leave that for a later date. Just going to move a few settlers around because we have stalled our production. So we'll drop a few jobs here and there. We could do with a couple of tailors down and a couple of technicians down. And can we squeeze anyone else into another job? No. Oh, has someone just grown up? No? No, I think they did, but I'm not quite sure. Right, so scrapyard's still ticking over. That's nice. And we'll put 6 refiners in. And we just need to finish the building of the all-important number 6. Get all of these producing each resource differently. So we've got 2 buildings focused on each resource. There we go, task complete. Got some mushrooms and some happiness. I don't know if those 2 are related, but you know, whatever. And we just got to finish getting enough water stored, so maybe we'll just temporarily make every spare man and woman and child a water carrier. Ticking up quite quickly, but I think it's essentially balanced out, so let's take someone else out of another job. A couple of fishermen, and go on then, we'll take a herbalist off and a forester. Pump them into water carrying. We're almost there. Come on. There we go. Fantastic. Right, that keeps everyone happy. And we'll just give everyone their old jobs back. I might not be right about this, but they're going... we definitely didn't have another herder, so somebody's been changed jobs 3 times in the last 5 seconds. Right, okay, that sorts that out. Drought is almost upon us. Can we get this marketplace finished in time? Okay, we've got a lot of young adults moving in, so there should be a mini population boom by what predicted. Oh no, someone's died. 65 by the looks of things. And that should grow quite quickly as the children reach adulthood and then start reproducing themselves. So it might be worth building another shelter at some point. Now then. Just going to drop a hunter so that I've got a settler, because I could really do with getting more population in. Problem is, we need to make sure that everything else that satisfies their needs is ready. Then we'll focus on population, and then I'll make sure that I'm getting like 5 spare settlers running around carrying things and moving stuff from A to B. Yeah, so long-term planning. Over on the west, we'll have our new industrial area. Then our old industrial area will be converted into farmland. We'll then get rid of the old farmland because this entire area to the south of the new road is going to be residential. So there'll be a marketplace, there'll be the medical centre, all of that stuff. And then this eastern area, when we've got rid of the farmland, it'll be forestry. So we'll have 2 foresters' huts, and they will be supported by a gatherer's cabin. Also, we'll move our fisher's hut to the western area of the lake, or potentially where the forestry hut is, and that'll just have that entire area south completely free for building our town and our residential space. Okay, so next, I'm just going to check on a few things and increase some production limits. This is looking good. We're getting a fair bit of resources in. Medication, that's something that we're going to need to address at some point. The larger your population grows, the more susceptible to diseases that they become. We're in the middle of a drought now, and drought, sandstorms, radiation exposure, it all kind of adds to the risk that your settlement may eventually succumb to infections, diseases, viruses that can very quickly spread through your settlement and kill everyone off. So I'm just keeping an eye now on our research, which is looking okay. We're generating points at a quicker rate now, probably because we've got educated settlers in there. I'm going to boost the amount of researchers we have anyway, just to max that out. Marketplace is starting to fill up. It would be really nice if we could move the bus wreck, but what I may actually do is start limiting the inventory that we can have in there, because I'd prefer to have everything in the marketplace. And then the bus can just be this community area. So, there we go. Oh god, another work-related incident in one of our tailor shops. We have to replace a major... Oh, I hope that doesn't mean... No, it's the same one that had the issue last time that we now need to repair. Never mind. So, the road's building quite nicely. There we go. Illness. So what do we need to do? Build a medical facility and assign a medic. Okay, right. It was going to happen at some point, so why not now? Let's pop a medical facility down. I think that's a decent location for it. And we can probably fill in that dead space behind it and just beside it with something. In fact, actually, let's put some decorations down maybe. We'll fill in this with a road. Going right around that way. Knowing that I can then put some cabins there in the future, and we'll put another road in there and looping around the back. And now we'll put maybe some hedges or some flower beds or something. Torch could be nice. What do these flower beds look like? Oh yeah, that's nice. Right, so we'll do flower bed, there, then we'll leave a gap, then flower bed, there, and then we'll put a street lamp in. Come on, camera, work with me. There we go. And then build a road along the back. Okay, so looking a bit better now. And what that'll do is eventually we'll kind of get a bit more inspired and space things out a little bit with some nice gardens and planters and stuff, just to increase the settler happiness, stop having everything so cramped in. But right now we need to focus on getting rid of all the disease. For now, I'm going to set some new tasks. So we're going to shift this gather wood one over here as we continue to clear out this area for our new farmland. And we'll have a look at this tailor shop, which still needs repaired. We are getting resources in, so that should happen soon. Medical facility, slow. I wonder if that's anything to do with our jobs. We've got some homeless settlers as well, so probably a good idea to build a new camp, settlement. I can't remember what it's called. Why aren't these filling up? Come on guys, get a move on. Let's just have a look at our professions. So we've got plenty of settlers. Just going to add in another forester and get our builders maxed out a little bit more. There we go. Medical facility getting stuff delivered to it. Some trees coming down. Let's just have a look at research. Almost got another point. We need 3 for the refinery, and then between half a season and 7 full seasons for it. But I think that's going to be incredible once we finally get it. And what we may do is we may make the refineries the first buildings that we add to our new industrial area. Medical facility is finally being constructed, which is great. That means we can tackle that task head on. There we go, done. Do I have medic? I did assign some medics, so that's good. Filling in the roads now. And we have to move this wood task again. Just clearing out like little patches of land, little trees here and there now. before we continue moving out to the west. Gonna move this gather scrap task as well. Can't fit anymore. Yeah, that needs the scrapyard to take care of what's left there. So we'll have him on this side now, clearing out the little bits of scrap before we move the scrapyard area of work to another zone. Add in a few more water carriers just to get us ready for the next drought coming in, but we're looking pretty good on food and water. There we go, we've got all the medical equipment that we need. Should cure the settlers. Oh, they're gone already. Everybody's been cured. Now then, tailor shop still needs repairing. I wonder what we can do about that. Is it worth increasing the production limit on our alcohol, or should we just leave it? We'll just leave it. It might be worth turning that off again. Can we remove this radiation? I think that would be a good move, because pretty much the entire settlement is covered in ground radiation. Although that just has free settlers doing it. Maybe it is to do with having more decontamination posts in place. I'm just going to cancel that because I don't think that's a good idea. That's the second time I've done like a mass decontamination thing and then... Right, okay, yeah, so... Food picked up, put in a marketplace or a storeroom or whatever, will be decontaminated at that point. As long as it's within an area of effect of a decontamination station. So if the crops are contaminated, once they go into storage it should be okay because they'll be decontaminated anyway, as long as we have enough kits to do so. I think that could be how it works. Just going to make sure that my market covers all of these resources here. Now we'll have an issue when we get our new industrial area up and running, in that there's no way this is going to cover that entire area. So that's something that we're going to have to consider moving forward. Could be putting a load more temporary storerooms or building some warehouses or whatever, but that's something I can work out at a later date. The drought is almost upon us and we have finally repaired that tailor's shop by the looks of things. I've got 20 homeless settlers now, so it's a good time to build another shelter. I think that's a good place to build it, and then we can fill in any gaps with more cabins, maybe here as well, down by the pub, or maybe even here where it gets a bit more attractiveness. No, original location is the best. We'll just keep it building out this way. It does make the path look a little bit off center and not matching up properly, which I don't really like, but we need to get it done because I think this will be the last area that I work on. And what we could do is we could move everyone into cabins on the west for now temporarily, and then rebuild this whole section here. We're low on cloth, so I think... Should we build another recycler? It might be worth doing long term, but I could build it over here and start this off now. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't think so anyway. I don't think it's worth putting all of our resources into that because it's not cleared out, so we don't have enough land to kind of build on right now. I gather scrap still has a few, and the scrapyard is now out of resources and ready for a field of work change. We'll move it over to here, somewhere in between these two areas. There. Now, the cloth shortage. I don't think building another recycler is a good idea. We've got plenty of plastic and metal, so we'll just move everything to cloth and max out the production on that for now. Because we're going to need it to build that shelter, and we also need it for our protective equipment, which we're probably going to run into a shortage of if we have any significant booms in the population. Just waiting for another delivery of cloth, which should come by soon enough once the recyclers get to work. Things are looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. So I think it's probably a good time to sort of bring this episode to a close, knowing that we're planning something big for the next few episodes, I suppose. We've kept the raiders at bay for now. We've got decent food and water supplies, and we're building stockpiles of all the other resources that we need. So I think I'm very happy Last episode was a definite breakthrough, and this has kind of been solidifying that and looking at how we can further plan our new settlement, which is really nice because we are running out of space and things are getting a little bit higgledy-piggledy here, so hopefully we'll solve that soon enough. Anyway, if you want to see more Endzone, follow this playlist, drop me a like and a subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.